Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm here in the garage, polishing the bike, making sure it's running tight. Let's do some fun topics. I know we usually have a real heavy agenda here, mind, body, and soul. Let's do some fun stuff. Let's talk about UFO news. Haven't done that in a while. I do have a couple episodes of UFO news just because I find it to be a fun topic. I've never seen a UFO. I do have one story where I thought I saw a UFO, but it turned out just to be a missile launch. We were near an Air Force base, and it was a missile launch, but everybody thought it was a UFO. It's kind of a funny story. I'm not going to tell it again. I have a video on it. Recently in Miami, at a Miami shopping mall, this happened just a couple days ago. A whole ton of cops show up, like 30, 40 cop cars show up. All the cops in town basically show up, ready for battle. There's video footage of it, and it's been in the news. People have talked about this story. The official story from the Miami police is that there was a little miniature riot, a riot amongst two gangs that they had somehow met up at the mall, whether they accidentally met or planned on meeting. That happens now, where people plan to meet in a public space and then they just kind of go berserk on each other. Well, that's what they were doing, and they had sticks and weapons, and I guess somebody had a gun, and shots were fired. Freaked everybody in the mall out. Cops come, descend on the place, and just, go to town, start arresting people, and that's the official story. But somehow this whole story turned into an alien sighting, and there's helicopter footage that you can find. I don't know how to do video editing, so this is a low budget YouTube channel, but there's footage on YouTube of aerial footage from a helicopter, I'm assuming, maybe from a nearby building, I don't know, but of what kind of looks like a blurry large figure walking around the mall, and there's a bunch of cop cars and there's this blurry figure, you don't know what it is. The stories that I've heard about this, now let me first start off. I think it was nothing more than a riot of teenagers. I think the official story in this case, I think the official story is true. Sometimes I point my finger and say, no, conspiracy. This time I think that it was just a bunch of teenagers. But there are some stories that I've seen, a couple videos on YouTube, where people claim that they were at the mall. And one guy claims that a portal opened, like a bright light happened in the middle of the mall, like an interdimensional portal opened, like Stargate, if you can imagine that. And a large creature, shadowy creature, climbed out of it. And that's one story. Another story by a chick, she said that there were 4 beings, and they were shadowy black creatures that were walking through the mall and chasing people. And everybody's running and screaming, and then the cops show up, and as people are running, the cops started shooting right over people's heads. These are the stories. You can find these videos if you really get interested in the story. I just thought it was worth reporting on to you guys. But who knows? It's a mystery. I do like UFO sightings, and I think they're funny. And there's always different types of UFOs. And according to the online UFO community, there's many different races of aliens that are visiting us. And I actually did kind of a silly UFO news a while back on the different types of alien species, and you can go find that on my channel. So we talked about the grays and the lizard people and the different types that are out there. But let's just briefly go over some of the different types of vehicles that these guys are driving around in. I'm a mechanic and work on vehicles, and I have a couple cars, and let's talk about what these UFO what these aliens are driving around. So there's sightings of little tiny balls, steel balls, about the size of like an individual, like one person could fit in there. There's sightings of little squares with a translucent ball around it, also the size of like like the size of a Volkswagen Bug or something. Now, the interesting thing, I was listening to a talk about UFOs by a scientist by the name of Eric Weinstein. He's a very smart guy. I like him. And he has his own podcast with his brother, I think. This guy's real smart. And he was talking about how it is possible, going by what he knows about physics, that the outside of a vessel, of a spaceship, doesn't have to be the same as the inside. So it could be a different dimension on the inside. So the inside could be the size of a house, the outside could be the size of a tiny spaceship. It doesn't have to have a large footprint on the outside. The inside could be completely different. And I thought that was an interesting theory. So just because some of these things are small doesn't mean that the aliens are small. Although, remember, we talked about different alien species, and they have some little dudes out there. So who knows? Maybe aliens are tiny, we're giants, and that's why they don't take us over, because we're all huge. We're talking about UFOs this time. So they have the little UFOs, and then they have different sizes of flying saucers. And there's sightings of flying saucers that are like the size of a car. There's sightings of flying saucers that are the size of like a fucking football field. But it's the traditional flying saucer shape like you think from the old movies or cartoons or wherever. They have triangles, solid triangles, and those are big. And then they have V's. So it's a triangle, but it's like the letter V, and it's just a big letter V flying through the air. They have pyramids. There's been sightings of pyramids and cubes, but big cubes. Big glowing red, orange cubes, the size of a football field. Big giant cubes, like the Borg from Star Trek. It would suck if the Borg is here, man. I would rather it be E.T. We can fuck E.T. up. The Borg, I don't know what we're gonna do against the Borg. Although I kind of look like I could get down with those guys, put some tubes on me, and I would probably be down with them. They have the Tic Tac shape ones that the military has released the videos. You can go see the Tic Tac videos. I showed that video to my brother. He was thoroughly unimpressed. I thought he'd be like, wow, look at the UFO. Nah, he didn't care at all. But you can go and look at those videos, and apparently they have Tic Tac ones, and they look like a propane tank. They have crescent-shaped ones, like croissants, and there's been several sightings of those, whole fleets of those. And that's all I can think of off the top of my head as far as different types of UFOs. This is UFO news. If you saw the alien in Miami, make a video. You'll go viral. We all want to see what that damn alien looked like. Might have just been teenagers. Thanks for watching.